But all right. So now it is that your girl's recording. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this next video, shall we? Now, Blackie Speaks, shout outs to you. The many controversies of Cardi B. This one's gonna hurt me a lot because I like Cardi B. I really do. And I am just waiting ever so patiently for the damn sophomore album. But it's okay though. It's okay. It's okay. Because I could be a Cardi fan. You know what I'm saying? I could be a Playboy Cardi fan still waiting for an album, being gaslit and whatnot. Yes, come over to the Twitch. Absolutely. So without further ado, we don't bite. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into this video, y'all. Let's do it.
Cardi B has been one of the most controversial female rappers in the mainstream for some time. Known for her bold, unapologetic, and often problematic behavior, she's found herself in hot water on numerous occasions, however. In this video, we'll be diving into some of Cardi B's most talked about and controversial moments. Let's begin with the first one you probably already know about. Cardi B's admission to robbing and drugging men. So essentially, Cardi B was doing this Instagram live years ago where she appeared to be very frustrated and she was venting to her fans, right? And in the heat of the moment, in a moment of revelation, she revealed that she used to take advantage of others, specifically men, in the worst way possible. We're talking luring these men to her hotel room after she seen that they wanted to have intercourse with her. As soon as they got to the hotel, she gave them some type of drug, and as they were passed out, she robbed them of their valuables.
You gotta go to a good studio and you gotta put in that bread. I did it with my money. So for to say that I don't fucking deserve it because I don't put in no fucking work. Now that's when I feel like niggas is bugging. I must have forgot the shit that I did to survive. Like I had to go straight. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I robbed them. That's what I used to do.
Nice.
Nothing was handed to me, my nothing.
So maybe things don't have to be handed to you when you're robbing and drugging men, other people, right? In the video you saw, she was speaking about how she got it out the mud. The only sad part is, she wasn't just talking about her time as a stripper, because that's how Cardi B first started making her money, or should I say shmoney. And then she used that money she made as a stripper and invested it into her music career. We're talking.
You said, damn, she used to strip? Yes. She done went ahead and started stripping, got her own apartment from stripping, got her titties from stripping, all that, you know what I mean? It got to that point, then she wanted to go ahead and get into music. Then she did reality TV. I mean, I've been following Cardi B since, I want to say since Vine. And Vine ended in what, 2015, 2016? So it's been a very long time since like a decade I've been following Cardi. So I've seen every single witch of Cardi before this, she got her teeth done. Cardi when she was on Love and Hip Hop. Cardi when she first dropped, Bodak Yellow. Cardi when she, got with Offset and got married to him, had all these beautiful babies it is that she got now. I've been following her for a while. Like I said, I like Cardi B, but with this right here, one thing it is that I am gonna say about with Cardi is that I don't know who is on the PR side of the team, but I wish it is that they'd pull her coat, because some things it is that you don't need to be saying, and especially stuff like if you were out here doing stuff like that, that would have been something it is I would have never said it openly. Even if what's up, Megan? Even if it is you did or you did not do it, because I have to say allegedly within this, because Cardi B like to sue, and baby girl, I love you dearly. I don't want to get sued. I wouldn't have said it if I was on your team. If I was your assistant, I would have been like, girl, do not say that. Do not say that, because that is something it is that that could put a huge dent within your career. It could change the way how it is that people think of you, and it may also get you more in trouble because you already done dealt with a case that's probably still open, dealing with you was trying to put your hands on the strippers it is that was dealing with Offset's cheating ass. Can you talk to your PR teams about your problems? Yes, you can. Yes. The PR team needs to know everything related to what's going on. It's almost like an attorney damn near. The reason why it is so important, because then they need to know how to move and what to prepare for when you say something that's like a boo-boo out publicly, and then you got to damage control it. Imagine a therapist was watching her live stream. They probably were, to be honest with you.
Talking about some R. Kelly type of things here. As a matter of fact, surviving Cardi B became a hashtag back then. This revelation
yeah.
quickly made headlines and became a massive story. It sparked heated debates across social media and news outlets. Now, the reaction wasn't
Right.
actually swayed in the direction you would think, because you'd think that everyone would be condemning her actions, kind of like Diddy, right? The general consensus is that he is in fact no different from the gum at the bottom of my shoe. And I hope you think that's the case with Diddy. For this particular story, although Cardi B received a lot of backlash, she also received more support than you would think, which is crazy to say. That included from fans, but also people with platforms. Shara7 was one of them actually who supported her during this time. If you guys don't know who Shara7 is, she's a female dating coach. I'm not going to say that she's like the female Andrew Tate because, you know, who the can live up to that title.
She's definitely, Shara7 is not no Andrew Tate. She's not. She's a financial advisor. She puts herself as a financial advisor, and she gives advice on leveling up and with dating and securing your future, versus you just falling for the okey doke love fairy tale type of like, oh my god, like I'm so in love, that type of thing. Because you know, love and security doesn't necessarily equate to each other. Some people feel indifferent about what Shira7, but there are some stuff it is that Shira7 says. It is that it's not wrong. Like you really cannot debunk what this woman says. Because I watch Shira7, so I don't mind her at all. However, the stuff with Cardi, what technically speaking, between her and what Bill Cosby did or allegedly did, the same and same. We've talked about this before within another video, and I was just like, that's a bad look. Which is why it is that I say that Cardi should have never said that. If that is something it is that happened, she should have never said that openly. Let alone should have never did it in the first place. But you know this. But to be fair, what it is that she did, and like, if this was a man, then they would have tear this man to pieces, to shreds. Like, oh, he's a bad person. He needs to be incarcerated. He needs to be charged for what it is that he did. You know. And technically speaking, the people are not wrong for saying that, because, I mean, that is a crime itself. You know, that you got away from, but they're not wrong for how it is that they feel.
But she essentially encourages women to, you know, take advantage of men and get what they want. Not take advantage in the way that Cardi B does it, but more like, hey, you want to get this, ladies? Go and get this shit. Like specifically from men. That's what her platform is about. But overall, she's a female dating coach. I don't agree with her content, but with all these male podcasts that exist now where they teach men how to be shitty human beings, I'm not even going to say anything about Shara7. It is what it is.
Right,
she exists for a reason, right? But
may I add, it is that like the amount of red pill male streamers it is that I see that are just like, oh, you're the alpha man, you're the prize, you're this, and this. Like, there's way too many men out here acting like princesses, bro. There's way too many men that's trying to find providers. Okay, we us as women trying to find a provider, and the man trying to find it too. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what it is that you like, but two people can't be finding a provider. Somebody got to be the leader. Somebody got to be the one that is that's paying the bills or whatever the case is. And women, us as women, we are the person that is that, like, we go based off of like our leader. We go based off of this, and we follow the person. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. You know. So I don't. And I say that without being like a red pill type of streamer, because it is. I'm far from that. But let's not be too much on with Shira7 when it is that like you got all different types, like stuff like fresh fritters. That organization within itself is still a thing, and then you have the person that's on there that don't even work out, but the name still has fit in it. I'm confused.
she was someone who actually showed her support for Cardi B during this controversy.
I don't feel like what she did was wrong. First of all, she was probably in survival mode.
And technically, yes, she was.
She, was a victim of abuse and had to become a to provide and, survive and things like that. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be doing those things today. I feel like those were something, that was something she did to survive.
One of the main reasons the story gained so much...
I don't condone it. But do I feel like it is that Cardi B was in survival mode? Yes, absolutely. Especially when it is you're going as far as like stripping. That is a survival mode. But you don't have to strip to be in survival mode, to be honest with you. Like, survival mode could be anything. Did I say that wrong? It's supposed to be condone or condone, but sorry. Get off me, Babs. Damn. I don't advocate for it, but do I believe it is that Cardi B was in survival mode? Yes, I do.
Much attention was the glaring double standard it exposed. Many argue that if the roles were reversed and a male celebrity had admitted to similar behavior, the backlash would have been far more severe. And by the way, they obviously should, man or woman. If you're taking advantage of other human beings in this way, you deserve the absolute worst. Now, Cardi B ended up responding to the backlash by saying the following. So I'm seeing on social media that a live I did 3 years ago has popped back up. A live where I talked about things that had to do in my past, right or wrong, that I felt needed to make a living. I never claimed to be perfect or come from a perfect world, but a perfect past. I always speak my truth. I always own my shit. I'm a part of hip-hop culture where I can talk about where you come from, talk about the wrong things you had to do to get where you are. There are rappers that glorify murder, violence, drugs, and robbing, crimes they feel they had to do to survive. I never glorified the things I brought up in that live. I never even put those things in my music because I'm not proud of it, and I feel a responsibility not to glorify it. I made the choices that I did at the time because I had very limited options. I was blessed to have been able to rise from that, but so many women have not. Whether or not they're poor choices, at the time I did what I had to do to survive. The men I spoke about in my live were men that I dated, that I was involved with, men that were conscious, willing, and aware. I have a past that I can't change. We all do. She also went on an Instagram live rant responding to the backlash.
Secondly, everybody always trying to make excuse of me. Always everything. Cardi this, Cardi that. Cardi's a terrible person. Let me tell you something. I'm a rapper. I'm a bitch that came from the streets, that came to the industry. I wasn't a Disney Channel star. I wasn't a nun. I wasn't a saint. I never was a saint. Okay? Let me tell you something. I'm a good-hearted person, but I have done fucked up shit. And y'all don't gotta worry about it. Y'all don't gotta tell my story. Y'all wanna know why y'all don't gotta tell my story? Because I'm gonna write a book about my life. I've been through a lot of shit. I've been a bitch that from young being in the streets. I got influenced by the streets.
Now, a lot didn't actually come from this entire story. Crazy to say, but Cardi B became an even bigger name after this. Just a month before the clip surfaced, Cardi won a Grammy for the Best Rap Album for Invasion of Privacy, and she overall was seeing a lot of success despite this moment right here. I'll be honest and say that I was surprised to see that she was able to put this behind her. I think part of the reason why it didn't affect her image though in the mainstream is that because number one, she is a woman. It is a double standard, we have to admit, okay? I'm sure even the ladies would agree with this. And number dos, right? She's done so much shit to the point where this became just another controversial moment in the sea of things Cardi B has done. And also, too, Cardi B has never portrayed herself as this angelic, politically correct celebrity.
Hasn't.
She said so many things in the past and just acted in so many different types of ways that make other people look at her like...
She had a loving mother. I'm sure it is that she did, but just like may I add it is my mom grew up in the streets. She grew up in the harsh streets of Brooklyn. So did my dad, and then moved to the harsher streets of Far Rockaway, Queens. I think people need to understand where it is like when you're in those those environments, you're trying to raise children. You're gonna raise the children the best way it is you can, or what is provided to you and your family at that moment in time. Good, bad, or indifferent, you know. Like I'm sure it is that she had a loving mom, you know. But Cardi had to go ahead and she experienced the levels of being in the streets, seeing what it is like people gang banging, people dying every day, you know, getting into fights, all that stuff, the harshness that comes from that. And unless it is you've been in that environment within itself, you will never understand it. Okay? So what she was saying before within like her live, technically speaking, it is like, you know, people can pass judgment as much as they want to. Like I said, I am not about to sit there and advocate for the stuff it is that she did, because she even agreed herself that like, oh, I've done some very like messed up things before. But when you're in survival mode, I think all of that kind of goes out the window to where it is just like, look, I need things to survive. And when you are at that point to where it is like anything can change of your living environments, having to struggle to figure out where it is you're going to eat, where you're going to sleep, you know, is the people around you, are they gonna rob you, or are they gonna jump you, or whatever the case is? That's all real stuff that you have to think about when you're in that setting. So again, not advocating for it, but do I understand where Cardi's coming from? Yes. It's like a mother stealing bread to feed be the child type of scenarios. I mean, yes, because technically speaking, it is that's wrong, but the reasoning behind it is to make sure it is that everybody else eat. I know plenty of people it is that's from the hood, from the streets and stuff like that still do that to this day. You know, like I said, I don't condone it, but I understand. I swear for Jesus, if you get on my case about how I said it,
Because this wrong, right? Not calling her, I'm just using that as an expression. But you get what I'm saying. Cardi B has been far from a politically correct artist, right? She's one of those celebrities who she literally doesn't care. And I'm sure if you follow on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about because she be talking a lot on Twitter. And low-key, there's an angle of this I want to explore, which is this could have actually been a strategic move on her end. I'm not sure if she randomly brought this up because her emotions got the best of her. It could be, but maybe it was a PR move because they knew that this clip was out there and it was eventually going to surface at some point. So she did what we call controlling the narrative mixed with some damage control. If that was the case, pretty smart, because I'd imagine if this clip surfaced, let's say, today, the backlash might have been more intense, or maybe not. What do you think? Now, controversy number 2 is when Cardi B said that she doesn't care about lyrics and that she only makes music for shmoney. A few years ago, Cardi B did this Instagram live and she was once again yapping to her fans. And Cardi B said something that got her in hot water. Cardi B essentially made it clear that she doesn't give a fuck about the art form of music, and that the only reason why she's making it is because she's trying to get rich and make hits.
I like to make hits. I like to make money. I don't really give a about being lyrical. I don't about this and that. If that's for me, I don't care. I like to make that's gonna make me money. I like to make that's gonna climb me off on the charts. Like, that's what I want. I want to be up top of the charts. I want to make money. I don't care about none of that. I know so many lyrical people.
Now, the timing of this was kind of funny because this was around the time when Cardi B started to get put in the conversation of the, best female rappers, alongside people like Nicki Minaj, who had already put in like 10 years in the industry and in the mainstream by the time Cardi B blew up. So Cardi B during this time was extremely hot. She was fresh off of her first and only debut studio album, Invasion of Privacy. She was getting a lot of press during this time, and Bodak Yellow was still climbing the charts. By the way, isn't it crazy how Cardi B got a hit through plagiarizing an entire song? I'm talking about No Flockin' by Kodak Black, which Cardi B literally stole the entire rhyme scheme from that song.
Yes, I am aware of that. Okay, what can I say to this, right? Cardi didn't start out as a rapper, so it makes sense. She's going, like, what she said is technically correct. She is only trying to make hits that make money because she knows it is that works. She knows that's what people are going to listen to at the end of the day, the consumers. She's not a lyricist, Nicki Minaj is. Nicki Minaj's penmanship, you can't sit there and deny her work ethic at the end of the day. There's a huge difference when you listen to it, even when it comes down to a body of work. It is that, you could tell it is that they, Mango, I swear for Jesus, you can tell the difference between somebody it is that's just like, they're just trying to put a hit out versus somebody that actually worked on the whole project with like every fiber being of their soul, So a lot of Cardi's music is either written for her. I do believe she does write music. She probably just gets help. Excuse me. She probably gets writers help from like Partisan, probably Offset as well. I'm anybody realistically speaking, and that's fine at the end of the day. Like, I've said this before many different times, that within the music industry, there's people it is that's going to take a song that's originally from another artist, or the label goes ahead because she's underneath Atlantic Records, that they originally had this person who that was their song. They recorded the demo track. They liked it, said, hey, we're going to give this song to this new upcoming artist that we're putting all of our money, our effort into, or whatnot. They're doing it to R&B and all these different levels of genres. But when it comes down to rap, that's when it's an issue. But it happens all the time. So I'm not surprised based off of that. I didn't bat an eye when it is that Cardi said it, because it's like, listen, baby girl wasn't really a rapper beforehand. She had to learn to be the rapper, and that's fine. That's A-okay. Can we say she's a lyricist? No. That is when it is like, all right, cool. But can she rap? Yes.
and made it her own.
I got old cash, spazzing on they ass. I got product on my whole ass. Got my lab one man.
Hey,
You can
little
fuck with
bitch,
me if you
you
wanted to.
This
These
is
expensive. These is red bottoms.
bottoms.
These is blood.
So yeah, a person who's
Yeah.
considered one of the better female rappers by the mainstream admits that she doesn't even care about music like that and that she's in it strictly for the money. Now Cardi B did get a lot of backlash for what she said, but it was just a drop in the ocean of controversy she's been in. People did use this as a way to discredit her as an artist, which I personally don't think is wrong, because if you don't even care about the art form, it's kind of hard to put you in a conversation with people like Nicki Minaj, who's literally been breathing, eating, and
That's
sleeping
fair.
music, but specifically rap music for the majority. I mean, her entire career. Nicki is a rapper's rapper. Cardi B has always came across as a hustler to me. She has her hand in so many different things, and to give her credit, Cardi B is rich as F. She actually revealed last year that she spends about $3 million a month. I don't know how true that is. And by the way, this is strictly her bills. That's what she said, right? Because $3 million a month, that would be $36 million a year for what? I don't really have a clue, but maybe you can call it lifestyle inflation, which is a very real thing, or lifestyle creep, I think they call it. But Cardi B has been very open about the fact that music is nothing but a hustle for her. So to hear her say this, I'm honestly really not that surprised.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, when you come from the streets, there's one thing it is that, like, people that are street smarts or have been in the streets and lived in it, the product of the environment, you know how to be a hustler. You know for a fact of what it's like to be broke, to be poor, to go through the levels of trenches, you know, about to lose everything within your life. She's a hustler. It's a survival skill. That's really it.
Speaking
That's
of
really
that,
it.
let's move on to the next one, which is actually connected to this one, and that is when she got exposed for having a ghostwriter, or some people would call it a co-writer, but whatever you want to call it. Back in 2018, Cardi B, similar to Drake in 2015, got caught up in a ghostwriting scandal. A clip ended up surfacing of a reference track from a writer in the music industry by the name of Partisan Fontaine. And this is the guy who was dating Megan Thee Stallion back in the day, right? I think they might have broken up like a year ago or something like that. I don't really follow celebrity relationships like that, so I'm not sure. Now you could clearly hear that the words on this reference track match the song Be Careful, which is on her 2018 album.
Man, I thought you would have learned your lesson. Bro, liking pictures, not returning texts.
Now this ended up making
Cardi's still helping her out with music. Again, this co-writing. It's I'm not surprised.
the headlines big time, because kind of going back to what we spoke on earlier, a lot of people were trying to put her alongside Nicki, and then this ended up happening and people ended up regretting it. Now Cardi B ended up denying the rumors by saying the following: I do write a lot of my shit, and that's the thing. Yes, just like every other artist, I do have a couple writers that help me with hooks, but I wrote plenty of songs on my album, specifically mixtape. Y'all just flip shit and y'all want to believe the F shit so bad, but eat it up. That was already too late though, because people had already made up their mind. This is something that would make sense. I mean, someone who views music as a hustle is bound to cut corners to get those big hits. Obviously, Cardi B is just not as invested in the craft of music as much as other artists, which is the same reason why a lot of people refuse to rate Cardi B as a rapper. No matter what Cardi B does, I actually don't think she's ever going to be a respectable name across the board. So much of why she's in the position she's in is because she's a great entertainer. That's what Cardi B is good at. And also, anyone who's done research on Cardi B, you're going to realize that she has really excellent networking skills. From what I've heard behind the scenes, Cardi B is very good with people, which is why she's been able to climb and make so many moves in her career. Now, her character, to me, based on what she's shown, she doesn't seem like that good of a person to me. Of course, I don't really know Cardi B. I'm just basing it off of what I've seen, okay? It's funny though, because Cardi B doesn't really need to be respected to stay on that pedestal that she's on. Now,
Atlantic Records was trying to find anything it is, or an artist that was either had the same level of mindset of like grind, hustle, anything it is that was to replace the top competitor female rappers. That's ultimately what music or record labels they do. They try to find the next biggest thing, especially if that particular artist has been on some bull, or they just going off the wall, or they trying to expose certain things, or they're saying stuff out loud that they have no business doing. So why go ahead? I'm sure this is probably with Drake when he was having these negotiation issues with UGM. Why go ahead and deal with trying to pay somebody more that we don't necessarily believe it is that they're going to bring a good asset to our company, our brand, our name, when we can just go ahead and find somebody to replace you. That happens a lot. And that happens even just not even just being celebrities. That happens within like regular everyday jobs, like what it is like we do. It is nothing but just a number at the end of the day. It's just like, all right, are you bringing in the numbers? Are you bringing in the sales? No? Okay, we're about to find somebody else. And you may be mad. You may even be beefing with the person is we bring in. But it doesn't matter. As long as it is that they don't entertain it, they get the top charts, they bring in the money, they bring in the level of success. That's all we care about. When people start to realize it's not just music industries that do it, but apply it to within life, that will make or break how it is that your work ethic is going to be moving forward for the rest of your life. Is that within itself?
Now, my personal theory on why the industry promoted Cardi B so much is because they wanted to open the door for mediocrity in general. Because when you have someone who's open about the fact that they view music as a money-making tool and that they don't write their songs and that they just don't care about the art form of music, and this person is being compared to artists who actually live this, like for real live this, that kind of just goes to show that anything is possible. As long as you have a name, as long as you know how to network, as long as you know how to entertain the masses, you're not really going to have a hard time reaching the top. And of course, you got to have a really good team as well, which Cardi B obviously does. Number 4 on Cardi B's most controversial moments is a compilation of the assaults she's been involved in over the years, starting with the strip club assault. In 2018, the then 25-year-old Bronx rapper, born Belcalis Almanzar, turned herself into the authorities and was charged with assault and reckless endangerment stemming from the incident. The fight occurred at Angel Strip Club in Queens on August 15, where Cardi B allegedly confronted 2 bartenders, who happened to be sisters. The feud reportedly began because Cardi B accused one of the women of having an affair with her then husband, Offset, from the rap group Migos. Though Cardi B didn't physically attack the bartenders herself, members of her entourage, including her bodyguards, were accused of throwing bottles and chairs at the sisters, causing injuries. This led to Cardi B being charged with 1 count of assault and 2 counts of reckless endangerment, both being misdemeanors. On October 1st of that year, Cardi B surrendered to the police station in Queens. After being escorted out by security, she waved at fans but avoided answering questions from reporters. Her lawyer, Jeff Kern, denied any evidence that Cardi directly harmed anyone, adding that this was her first arrest in New York. However, the bartender's lawyers, Joseph Tacopina, claimed otherwise, accusing Cardi B of orchestrating the attack and even bragging about it on social media. Apparently, she thinks her celebrity status puts her above the law, their lawyers said in a statement, adding, but reality is setting in. Now, this case attracted significant media attention, with fans either defending Cardi's actions as retaliation for a betrayal or condemning her for abusing her influence and status. In the end, the controversy added another layer to Cardi B's polarizing reputation. Let's move on to one of the more overlooked moments in Cardi B's controversial career, a lawsuit filed against her for which is another assault, in the form of a lawsuit filed against her for an alleged assault back in 2018. The situation involved a woman named Imani Ellis, a security guard who claimed Cardi B assaulted her in a Beverly Hills medical building. According to Ellis, Cardi not only struck her in the face and body but also spit on her and used racial slurs during the altercation. The incident allegedly happened on February 24, 2018, when Cardi B was about 4 months pregnant with her daughter, Culture. Now here's where things got messy. Ellis, the woman, she filed a lawsuit almost 2 years later in February 2020, alleging malicious intent on Cardi B's part. But as you would expect, Cardi didn't stay silent. She took it to social media to clear the air, and let's just say that she didn't hold back, because she never holds back. In a now deleted tweet, Cardi B said, "Why don't you guys post a part where the doctor's office said that's not what happened? And if I assaulted her, why didn't she press charges? Why would I put my hands on someone twice my size, by myself, while I'm experiencing sharp pain 4 months pregnant?" Cardi B said. Now here's the thing, Cardi also pointed out something about the narrative surrounding this case. She claimed people had been trying to push the idea that she uses racial slurs, but she shut it down by saying, "This is the girl who's suing me. She's lighter than me and looks Latin American. Give me a freaking break." So what actually went down? Witnesses who were present at the medical building had a slightly different story. They said Ellis approached Cardi while trying to record her or take photos, something Cardi wasn't okay with, especially since she hadn't revealed her pregnancy yet. According to these witnesses, Cardi simply asked Ellis to stop, and things escalated from there. This moment is a classic example of Cardi B's unapologetic nature when it comes to defending herself. While the lawsuit itself didn't lead to criminal charges, it added another layer to the narrative of Cardi B being at the center of controversy. Whether you believe her or not, this incident highlights the polarizing nature of her fame. People either love her or love to call her out. Now moving on to the next altercation, we're still at number 4 by the way. Let's talk about one of the most infamous moments in Cardi B's career, which is the fight with Nicki Minaj at New York Fashion Week in September 2018. This was a defining moment in their long-standing feud, and it all went down at the Harper's Bazaar Icons party. The drama started when Cardi B confronted Nicki Minaj, allegedly over comments Nicki made about Cardi's parenting. Cardi felt Nicki had been sneak dissing her and spreading negativity, which Cardi was no longer willing to tolerate. According to reports, Cardi was the one who initiated the altercation, approaching Nicki and shouting at her across the room. Things escalated quickly when Cardi tried to physically get to Nicki. During the chaos, Cardi ended up throwing her shoe in Nicki's direction, which missed. Security jumped in to break things up, and that's when it turned into a full-on scuffle. In the process of trying to get close to Nicki, Cardi was elbowed by security,
Hi, Carrie.
which
How
left her
are
with a
you?
visible...
Welcome on in. How are you? No, Mango, no. Welcome on in. Hopefully your stream was great. Harry. Oh, welcome on in as it is we react to the many controversies of Cardi B. You know?
lump on her forehead. Photos of Cardi leaving the party barefoot, holding her shoe, and with the bump on her head quickly went viral, becoming the iconic image of the night. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj on the other hand stayed calm and composed throughout the chaos, letting her security handle the situation. After the incident, Cardi took to Instagram to defend her actions. In her post, she called out Nicki for liking comments that questioned her parenting and accused her of crossing the line. She wrote, "I let a lot of shit slide, but when you bring up my child, all bets are freaking off." Nicki, on the other hand, addressed the situation more subtly. During an episode of her Queen radio show, she called the incident humiliating and denied ever talking negatively about Cardi's child, emphasizing that she doesn't need to clown to succeed. This fight was one of the most talked about moments in hip-hop back in 2018, not just because of the chaos itself, but because it cemented the feud between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj as one of the most intense rivalries in recent hip-hop history.
I think that not happened on her head from the security guard on accident trying to like stop her. But and I mean in reality, to be quite frank, like this whole feud was, it started like a misunderstanding and then turned into something it is really big. All because of the motorsports music video stuff. But and it's so crazy to me because I feel like it is like they both rappers could have learned a lot from each other. But then I also do have to realize it is that I won't say it is that she's at fault for that altercation of what happened here at Fashion Week, although it is that it could have turned very ugly for both of their endorsements, their sponsors, and whatnot. But luckily it is that it didn't. Like, I'm being mindful of this because Nicki's not necessarily the saint, because Nicki does a lot of stuff, say a lot of stuff that's within question. She does get into a lot of beefs with narcissists. Is actually I wouldn't. You're not far off by saying narcissist. You're not far off by saying that. You're not far off by saying narcissist. But I do feel like it is that Nicki does have a lot of like turmoils with women within this industry. And I'm always just like, yo, Nicki, you are 40 something. You're in your middle 40s at this point. You, if anything, don't gotta do nothing at this point. You could be teaching the girlies how to get through. I understand it is. You are the first person to reach out to them to do collabs and everything like that. But I mean, you don't have to do anything at this point. Granted, yes, I still don't like the fact that is you married to that damn sex offender. I'm always gonna think it is that your reputation and legacy is gonna be tainted by you being married to this man, you know. But man, like these, like after, like it's one thing it is you have a turmoil with somebody over like a misunderstanding and stuff like that. Sometimes it is that happens quite a lot, but when you're having a misunderstanding with so many different people and you're turning into the bully, it's kind of hard to take that side, because it's just like, are you going to sit there and say every person it is that she's had a fallout with, like she's the victim in it? This is the things it is that like I think about a lot. And to be honest with you, going as far as it is that you're talking about somebody's deceased mother, and then the fan community going as far as trying to figure out where her resting spot is at. I still have issues with that. You know?
and she can't keep track of who she got beef with.
Oh yeah. What like? Oh, you didn't know what Megan Thee Stallion mango? Because Megan's mother Holly, she did a lot of stuff for Megan before it is like she passed away. I think it was from like a brain. I think it was something like a brain aneurysm or something brain related that she died from. It was, I want to say almost damn near close to cancer. That it was, but I can't remember. I have to look back to just check my records. But yeah, Holly did a lot of stuff with supporting Megan, like her early come up, like Big Old Freak era, all that stuff, all those freestyles that she was recording. Her mother did that. A brain aneurysm. There you go. So to talk about that, it's just like, listen, like the last thing it is you ever should be talking about is the dead. The dead can't defend themselves within this physical world. So it kind of comes off a little classless that you're going this low, like going this low. All Megan said was, these hoes ain't mad at me. These hoes mad at Megan's law. That's all she said. She didn't even say Nicki's name. She did not say Nicki's name at that point. Very clever way of going about it, to be honest. If you ask me, that's a penmanship. It is, what I'm saying? You cannot deny. But it's to me, to go that far with saying that, it's just like, yeah, nah, That's why I always have a little bit of a look at Nicki a little with disdain a little bit. But these two, Cardi and Nicki Minaj, could have learned so much from each other if they actually was to coexist. But I don't ever think it is that's going to happen at this point, I don't think it is that they're ever going to have to sit down and like have that conversation.
Let's move on to another one of Cardi B's controversial moments in relation to assault. The infamous microphone throwing incident in Las Vegas during the summer of 2023, which I actually covered if you might remember. The situation unfolded during a performance at a beach club in Las Vegas. While Cardi was performing, a fan in the audience threw a drink at her, splashing her with liquid. Cardi, who was clearly caught off guard and annoyed, didn't hesitate to respond. Within seconds, she took her microphone and hurled it in the direction of the person who threw the drink. Videos of the incident quickly went viral on social media, sparking heated debates. Some fans praised Cardi B for standing up for herself and calling it a justified reaction, while others criticized her, saying that as a performer, she should have handled the situation differently. What added to the controversy was the fallout. The person Cardi B threw the microphone at filed a police report claiming assault. However, after an investigation, authorities ultimately decided not to press charges against Cardi. Interestingly, the incident also sparked some humor online. Fans pointed out that Cardi's microphone throw was incredibly accurate. Some even joked that she should consider a career in baseball. Now, all jokes aside,
Hilarious.
Cardi B did face a significant amount of backlash for this incident. And sure, the girl throwing the water at her wasn't right. That disrespect was definitely uncalled for. But for Cardi to retaliate by throwing that heavy-ass microphone at her, a lot of people, myself included, felt like it was overkill, pretty much. And it seems like most people agree with that as well. Now, moving on to number 5 on this list is when Cardi B was caught calling black women roaches on Twitter before she blew up. Back in 2017, this controversy made headlines as old tweets from Cardi resurfaced, where she used the term roaches while clapping back at critics. On his one tweet responding to
Jean-Claude accuracy is 100%. I mean, she is Hispanic. She is Hispanic. All right. Now, within this, as of right now, yes, she is, I think, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and I think somewhere in the lining it is that she's black as well. He said she was being racist. I mean, here's the thing about with this, like before it is Trinity. I mean, Trinity. Me and Trinity is black at the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just a little boat stop. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Different cultures. The culture is different for sure. Caribbean islands and then Americans. African Americans, that's different cultures for sure, but we're both black, But what's up, Drew? Here's the thing that I am gonna say about this. Cardi has said some very intricate words before it is that she was like she blew up, and you never know what your life is going to be like. And this, again, I'm not advocating for like her actions here, but you don't know like it is you're gonna blow up. You could be on social media and you could just be talking and say like the most asinine things. And then once it is you blow up, it's just like, ooh, like what was this comment? It is that was they do this to everybody. They do this to everybody. Everybody. What's up, Zach? How are you? It said, but to call a dark skinned person roach is out of line. I've seen people go as far as making comments about calling us monkeys, calling us about roaches. I've seen all different types of comments in relations to that. Azealia Banks also does the same thing, and she's dark. She's darker than me. Now, I don't know what was the debate that caused this, to be honest with you, but one thing it is that I can say about with Cardi that I wish Cardi would stop doing is using social media as the platform to just vent out how it is that she's feeling. She's That's one thing it is that I wish that would stop. Even now with all the stuff with Offset and trying to get divorced and stuff like that, that is literally going to cause her to age way older than it needs to. Erica Mena is another example to where it is a nasty divorce. I don't know why the hell it is you decided to go ahead and get married to All People Safari when it is Nikki herself wanted to get rid of this nigga. Like, it's stuff like, and may I add, divorces are not easy. They're never easy to begin with, but do they take such a toll on every aspect of your body? Yes. But what I do wish a lot of times is like somebody just go ahead and just like, Cardi, I was like, you can vent to me, vent to like the people that is on your team, somebody it is that's not social media. I love you dearly, girl. And I just want, and that's another thing too. I want her to like, I want people to make sure it is that they check up on her and make sure she's good. You know what I mean? Because she'll be quiet, she'll be chilling and whatnot, and then all of a sudden she's in a Twitter space spilling out her tea, or she's on Instagram Live spilling out her tea. It's like, damn, like, my girl, please. I just want that sophomore album. I just want to know, is WAP and Bongo's gonna be on the album? I just want to know, man. At this rate, it's like, please let us get the album by all means.
To a black woman who criticized her on Twitter, Cardi B ended up clapping back by saying the following. Actually, let me do it in Cardi B's voice. I had to search hard. Your main pick, wow, muck. You just ugly. You look like a burnt roach. The backlash was swift, with many pointing out the racial implications of the word, especially when directed at black women. Critics highlighted how the term has historically been used to dehumanize and insult black people, making Cardi's comments even more damaging. Cardi, however, defended herself, claiming that the term wasn't meant to be racial. She explained that she uses roaches as a general insult, regardless of race, and denied having any malicious intent with what she said. As someone of Afro-Latino descent, Cardi argued that her upbringing and environment shaped the way she responds to negativity, though this explanation didn't satisfy everyone. This wasn't the only time Cardi has faced these kind of accusations. Over the years, critics have pointed to other incidents where they felt her behavior or language reflected colorist undertones. However, Cardi has consistently denied these claims, often citing her upbringing and identity as a woman of color from the Bronx. Despite her denials, these controversies have sparked ongoing debates about accountability and the role of public figures in addressing issues of race and representation. Cardi fans argue that she's being unfairly targeted, while others believe these moments show a pattern that shouldn't be ignored. Whether intentional or not, these accusations have added to the complex and often polarizing nature of Cardi B's career, solidifying her as a figure who sparks strong reactions, both good and bad, whenever her name comes up. And this, ladies and gentlemen, okay, is some of the many controversies of Cardi B. There are a lot of other things we could have touched on, like her dysfunctional relationship with Offset. I mean, that's an entire video in itself, but that's kind of more gossip, and I don't really want to jump on that conversation. Or the extensive beef with Nicki Minaj.
It ain't that much of gossip. It ain't that much of gossip. All it is that y'all need to know is that he's a cheater. He's a cheater. He's been embarrassing her. He's been using that damn girl. I feel more so Cardi put a lot of like her work ethic, everything like that on hold to make sure it is that he was good and, taking care of the family, being a mom, being a wife and everything like that. Like anytime where it is that you are the wife and the mother and then you're also the businesswoman and you're also, the daughter to your mom and everything, like, all of those different levels of titles, those things can be very stressful. And it makes it even worse when it is that you got somebody that's a narcissist as your partner that's out here intentionally trying to get you pregnant to just make sure it is like, all right, cool. Well, if I get her pregnant, then I'm gonna slow her down. Men will only treat you based off of the reflection of how it is that they feel about themselves at the end of the day, or what it is that they see you as. And by all means, let's be clear. Offset done already done planted his seed with 3 other women before it is he met Cardi. So to be honest, did I feel like it is that he was gonna be a faithful man? No, I really didn't. To be honest with you, a little conniving and the stuff it is that he's done, and that's a bit of a shock. But then again, it doesn't surprise me at the end of the day.
I wanted to cover the ones that I was the most interested in and the ones that I, felt like I had something to say about. Anyway, if you made it this far, make sure you drop a like on this video to boost your boy up in the algorithm, okay? And if you're new here, my name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. Thank you for subscribing. Check out my latest video here or somewhere here, okay? And you let me know in the comment section below what you think about this topic in relation to Cardi B. The many controversies of Cardi B. Cardi B's crazy, man. She's crazy, but I will say Cardi B is very entertaining, okay? For what it's worth. She's a great entertainer. I will say that. What do you guys think was the most controversial one on this list? I'm personally gonna have to go with the first one because that's some crazy stuff. I mean, that's like Diddy stuff right there, but the female version, obviously. But anyway, what you guys think about this topic, you let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. I'm out.
Not to mention, her fans glorify this behavior and will dox and harass you if you tell the truth about Cardi B. No, I wouldn't say like maybe I have not seen the Barty community like that. I would say the Barb community, yes, but Cardi B likes to sue. Why do you think it is that like the Shade Room don't post nothing about Cardi B? I know it is that they get sick every time it is that something happens and they can't post it. I haven't like the Barty gang. You may have to show me, Zach, because I've seen it, but like I've seen Beehive dox people, but I have not seen Barty gang do that, which is shocking within itself because you would think it's the opposite. I've seen Barbs and Barties do the same thing. I've seen some community within Ice Spice community that has done that. And I just like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. The Shade Room be like, gotta go fast. Okay, you know what? So Blackie Speaks, shout outs to you. Thank you so much for the video. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to you at home. I will catch y'all in the next video.